dude, what's your workout like? You know, what workout do I do to look like that? And people who have been conditioned, especially in the realm of fitness, to look for the one program to rule them all. They're looking for a magic answer, and the answer is magic, but it's not linear or simple. The answer is a mystery because there actually is no one answer. The answer is a series of strategies employed cyclically and artfully over time. This answer generally involves experimentation and inspiration. And I talked to Tanner Guzzi about this earlier this weekend, and the same thing actually applies to personal style. There is no one answer that is always going to be right. So instead of asking this simple linear question, approach the problem with cyclical thinking. It's not just that it is a process, because people say that all the time. It's a process. The most advanced results actually require a series of processes. Elite athletes didn't start at A and keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again until they got to B. If you think about Olympic athletes at the Olympics, bodybuilder, the day of the show, they're in a state that they can only maintain for a few hours. I've trained a lot with powerlifters, and what they lift on that day of the meet when they get that record that everybody gets excited about, they maybe couldn't lift that 2 weeks prior or 2 weeks after that. They're on a long training cycle, and that's a peaking day, and sometimes they don't get it right, and they were stronger 2 weeks before the meet, and then they fail their lift. A fighter, the day of his fight, is that guy always as good as he is that day? No. He did a long fight camp to get ready for that fight with a weight cut and all kinds of things involved with that. So all these things that we see that are exemplars, these goals that we want to get to, they are peaks in cycles. They aren't static states. These guys aren't at that place all the time. Trainers look at things in terms of macrocycles and mesocycles and microcycles. Cycles of work and recovery, bulking and cutting, chemical cycles, nutritional cycles, cycles of preparation and evaluation, of learning and reflection. To reach a peak state, to even reach a level of initiation at which you can conceive of how to reach a peak state, requires a lot of trial and error. A lot of running this program, and this exercise and that exercise, and finding out what works and what doesn't, and what produces the best and most reliable results for you. Understanding what works for you and when, is the point at which this art and mastery becomes your science. And even this science may change over time. It must be continually challenged, because sometimes what works stops working. And what works right now could be replaced by something that works a little bit better. Even with the best advice, progress is not guaranteed to be strictly linear. And it can't be, because there is no real end. You don't just get there and stay there, no matter what you're doing. Only points, moments, benchmarks. There'll be a series of ends and goals and victories, but there'll also be tangents and discoveries and unforeseen obstacles. Sickness, injuries, changes in trainers, gyms that open and close. The rules could change, or some future version of yourself may see a new opportunity, or a different way you want to go, or a new goal. And that moves you in a different direction, closing doors and opening others. Nothing stays exactly the same. As you receive new input and your environment changes, your training will change and you will change. One of my prospects for my group, we'll call him Pork Chop. When I gave him his prospect patch for a group, and it's a long process that they have to go through, and he had some physical goals because he was already really smart and he had a lot of things going for him. I said to him,